Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special celebratory episode of the Game Changers podcast. My name is Quinn, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, as always. Unlike usually, we don't have any guests today, but today marks 1 year of Game Changers. Officially 1 year of Game Changers. Can you believe it? But we have made it to a year of a lot of trials, a lot of difficulties, but a lot of blessings as well. And this celebratory episode will go through some of the things that we've been through, some of the things I've learned, and some of the things that I intend to build on, and some big announcements for the future as well. So, let's get straight into it. Alright, so we're starting off with where we've been. Now, when I started Game Changers, I started it with the intent of highlighting young entrepreneurs first, right? So that's why you realize that the first few episodes, we started with Elisa, Eugene, Taj, Ernest, and these type of people were mainly entrepreneurs. So people who actually have a business, right? But then I started thinking to myself, it's not just entrepreneurs who are game changers, because my definition of a game changer is somebody who does something that is outside of the box and makes a difference, right? And I thought to myself, it's not just entrepreneurs who are game changers, but also game changers could also be professionals who have done something outside of the box or are doing something outside of the box to change the game. And then we started interviewing people like T Blacks, Deshaun Augustine. We have to do a redo of that interview for sure, because at that time, we were not very versed in technology. So the audio is not the best in his interview. I look forward to sitting down again with one of my good friends. He's a great interview. He provides great insight in his interview. So people like T Blacks, people like my cousin Crystal and Cook Ogis. I have to remember the Ogis these days, and people like that are really game changers also, because they change the game in their own way, right? They might not necessarily be entrepreneurs. However, Crystal is an entrepreneur as well as a doctor, but they might not necessarily be entrepreneurs, but they still have insights to change the game, right? So we pivoted to people who are changing the game regardless if they are entrepreneurs or not. Alright? And when I was initially looking for who to interview, like who to bring on, because people have asked me that question so many times, how do you get these guests? How do you get such amazing people on your show? A lot of these people, funny enough, were already in my contact list. I have amazing friends, guys. I have some of the best friends in the world. I know that for sure. Now I'm taking you on a journey to see some of my amazing friends. And I just said, these people are already dope, right? And I know for sure that somebody would be inspired by their story. So why not connect with them, right? So people like, I said Elisa already. I said Crystal already. And then recently, some more friends that I had in my contact list, like Christopher Walcott, who has been a mentor to me, or Renee Lawrence, who has been a good friend of mine from USC. In fact, I would say that USC produces a lot of game changers, right? And maybe there are big things coming up for game changers and USC. We will talk about that a little bit later, maybe, right? And along the way, I also met some amazing people as well. So people like Bill Seeker Stanislas, who has been one of the biggest supporters of Game Changers. I have to big up Bill, who consistently shares our links, consistently shares our flyers, and is doing big things on his own, and still takes the time to share and showcase us. So I want to thank you for that, Bill. People like Tulgard Vandendodge, right? I met this guy online. I can't remember how exactly we got in contact, but I just saw this guy who was so full of life and so full of energy. And I decided, you know what, let me reach out to him. And his story is amazing. He was born in Mongolia, right? And grew up in the United States and built a brand. And for me, that is one of my favorite interviews because I did not know really what to expect when I interviewed Tulgat, but his insight is probably one of the best insights that I've had, period. So definitely go and check out that episode. Um, Also, people like Hazan Louis, who is a theater practitioner, right? I've always been interested in theater, learning about how people develop that craft, and she provided some amazing insights as well. She really took us on a journey as to what it means to be an actor and developing scripts and what the thought process is like. So people like that, and people like Marlon, who is a videographer. We haven't interviewed any photographers yet. We will get one, but he's a videographer, and he really is a game changer in that he's doing things in a way that most solutions at least have not done. Doing things on an international scale. And if you listen to the way he started getting into the field, it's pretty unorthodox, and it's not something that you would quickly think that he got into the field. He would get into such a field. So these people brought such amazing insights, and I've been blessed to learn about new people and meet some amazing new people. And you have met them with me. So I want to thank all my guests for making, these 30 episodes and episodes to come amazing. So thank you so much for that. Game Changers proudly supports Kids Health Creative, a publishing house encouraging children ages 4 to 12 to live healthy lifestyles, all while having good, clean fun. Get their latest book, Be Smart, at 10% off when you use promo code QuinnST at checkout. That's QUINNST at checkout. Get yours today. Hello everybody, I hope you're enjoying the episode. This episode was made possible through a platform called Riverside FM. It's a platform that I've grown to love, and it really does justice to creators. Unlike Zoom or other platforms, it records content locally and then uploads it to the cloud, so you have a seamless video. If you're a creator and looking to get into this space, this is the platform for you. Click the link down below to get started today. So we're moving on. Now, for this segment, I have to see our achievements so far. I have to see where we've gotten to, right? We spoke about where we've been. Now we're speaking about our achievements. Ultimately, I wanted Game Changers to be a place where my guests tell their stories through me, right? So it's about my guests telling their stories through my platform. I think we've achieved that. I also think that it's important to interview people or bring people on that I naturally want to talk to, and that makes the episode flow better. Because I don't know if you've seen interviews with people who clearly don't want to be there. Maybe a reporter or somebody is interviewing them, and that person definitely, clearly does not want to be either interviewed by that person. So either the interviewer doesn't want to be there, or the interviewee doesn't want to be there. So it's a forced thing. And I don't think that would produce great content, right? So it must be a natural flowing interview. And I guess well, I know that most of our interviews are just like that, you know? Both of us want to speak to each other. I think that's very, very important, right? So I think we've achieved that, or these two things. Also, in terms of pivoting for equipment, we've changed that as well. When I just started, started off with a webcam. Now, I bought a webcam for podcasting, just for podcasting, and the webcam was all right. It was okay. It it managed, but it wasn't the best. I'll just be honest. It wasn't the best. And I I thought to myself, I do have a phone camera, and I think, at the very least, the phone camera can compete with the webcam. In fact, it was actually better than the webcam. So I decided to pivot to the phone camera, and it has really changed the game, changed the visual game, because this is a podcast that's not just audio, but it's video and audio. And it has made things so much better for me. Producing better quality and better content in general. I also changed software during this course of time, right? And that's another accomplishment. So ultimately, I want to produce the best content I possibly can. And initially, I was recording on Zoom because that's all I knew. That was the thing that everybody used, Zoom to record like a video calls. But I realized something about Zoom while recording. It would often lag, the audio would lag, the video would lag, and that didn't make for a very smooth call. It always made for a choppy call, and I had to edit out, a lot of lag. It gave me a lot of work to do. It also didn't have proper framing, so somebody with a smaller screen and somebody with a larger screen would appear. I would appear large if I had the larger screen, and if you have the smaller screen, you would appear small in the recording. And I didn't really like these dimensions because I wanted a side by side image. So I knew I had to find something that was better than Zoom to record. And in my research, I stumbled upon an app called Riverside FM. Now, Riverside FM is built for podcasting. It was actually built for virtual podcasting, developed, I guess, during the pandemic. And it different than Zoom in that it records content on your end and your guest's end, and then simultaneously uploads it to the cloud. And then AI technology sorts it out. So it will tell you that maybe you are talking first and then the guest is talking second. So the AI sorts it out properly. And it has really changed everything concerning Game Changers content, right? I now have better quality content. The video looks better. The audio is not choppy at times. And, it's just a smooth conversation, it's a smooth interview, and a smooth recording. So it's really pivoted my content, and I know it will do the same for you. In fact, we always leave a link down below. So if you are interested in doing podcasting, or you're just interested in recording something online, Riverside is way, way, way better. Not just than Zoom, but better than almost any other platform when it comes to video recordings or even audio recordings, because you can just record audio alone with Riverside as well, right? As a matter of fact, when I did my research, I discovered that there was a conversation between, I think, was Zuckerberg and Gary V, right? And Riverside was the platform that they used, and many major virtual podcasts that are recorded now use Riverside. So I'm telling you, I'm 100% sure that this is the software for you. So check it out. So that was another pivot that we did, and I'm very happy about that accomplishment. Now, we also launched a website. The website was pretty good while it was up. You would realize that it's not up anymore. I was using Shopify, and I thought, that it wasn't reaching it didn't have the reach that I wanted. I was spending money on it, and every month, with a subscription, paying money for something that I wasn't seeing the returns that I wanted from Shopify. So I decided to change into a different platform. Right now, the new website is not it's not available to the public already. It's up and running, but it's not available to the public because there are still a few tweaks that I have to iron out. But very soon you'll be able to see the new website. I know that my international audience wants to get aligned with Game Changers merch, and also wants to get aligned with some other content that we're going to have on the Game Changers website. It's coming soon. Don't you worry. Just have patience. Just have some patience with us, and it will be there available for you as soon as it's ready. Right? So I'm proud of the fact that I created a website and I was able to put it out there while it was up there. And I'm also proud of what the new website will look like. The more that you learn, the better you become, and the new website is a better version of the old one. Right? Okay, so before I get into the big announcement, I know that's why a lot of people are on here. Before I get into the big announcement, I want to tackle what I've learned, because I think ultimately every experience in life should teach you something. Should teach you something about yourself. Should teach you something about people. Should teach you something about life in general. And Game Changers has definitely taught me about all of these things. Even if I was doing this thing for myself alone, I would have learned these things, right? That's why you would see that I have such passion for Game Changers, because whether or not this video or any of my videos get thousands of views, I would still record my podcast because I am learning, and I know a few people out there are learning as well. And I think that's the most important thing that came out from Game Changers, or has come out from Game Changers thus far. So the first thing I've learned is that people are different. Now you listen to me and you're saying, Quinn, duh. You can just look at somebody and tell that they're different. You can look at two individuals and tell that no two people are alike. Even siblings are different. But different in the sense that everybody thinks differently, sees the world differently. I discovered that, if you ask 100 people this is their very same question, they all will give you 100 different answers. Even if they come to the same conclusion, but the way that they come to the conclusion is different. And you would have seen that in Game Changers content. Some of my questions were similar for multiple guests, right? So for creatives, I asked similar creative questions, but the answers that I've gotten have always been different. It has provided new insights and different insights, right? Where the end goal, or the end of their thoughts probably produce the same result at the end, but how they get there is so different, and it's so insightful. And I just found that so amazing that people are that different. People think so differently, and if you listen to how individuals think, or people outside of yourself think, you can learn so much, right? So people are different. That's the first one. The second thing I learned is that listening is important. Now, we listen to respond. I think that is one of our, as humans, that's one of our biggest downfalls. We listen so that we can say something back, right? Even if it's something positive back, but we listen so that we can respond. But I've learned that if you take time to listen to what people are trying to say and learn what they're trying to say, you'll be better off in the long run, right? Try to listen to people intently, in that you are intent on learning what they're saying, right? Rather than responding to them. Listen and get that information sunk into you, right? Listen with intent. Listening is important. That's my second point that I want to point out to you. Point number 3 is that less is more. Now, anybody who has edited any video can tell you that editing is largely cutting out nonsense, cutting out garbage, right? In fact, there's more removal in editing than there is adding, right? And this showed me that less is more. Oftentimes, in life we often think that adding stuff to our life would improve it. You get more cars, or a better house, or better shoes, better clothes would improve our life. But sometimes less is more, because sometimes when you have such a large or so much content or so much stuff, it clouds the main point of your existence, or the main point of the video, right? All this additional garbage, and then you can't even use it to its best ability because it's too much. So less oftentimes is more. Cut away the garbage, get rid of what is not necessary, and you'll end up being so much happier and so much better off. The final thing that I learned is that anything you want in life can be achieved through hard work and dedication. Game changers was just a concept in my mind. I was in the pandemic. I was consuming content just like most people during the pandemic. I watched a lot of podcasts, listened to a lot of podcasts, watched a lot of shows, and I was looking at podcasts in particular, and I asked myself, Quinn, what is stopping you from doing that? Why can't you do something like that? So I looked into myself, and I thought to myself, what is the basic thing that you need to do that? So I came up with 3 things. Equipment. You have to have a topic to speak about, and you also have to just be willing to put it out there. Equipment, topic to speak about, be willing to put it out there. So I decided to make a plan, because I think if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And I didn't want to fail. So I started jotting down things that I need to achieve, how much these things would cost, how long would I think that it would take me to set it up, designing logos, these type of things. And I realized that the more effort I put in and the more time I spent doing it, the better it became. The better I became, the better person I became, like personally, and the better my content became, the better the whole production became. Anything that you want in life can be achieved through hard work and dedication. Anything. All right, so these are some things that I've learned, and I hope that it has enriched you. I hope that you have learned as well. And feel free to comment down below some of the things that you've learned from Game Changers, some of the things you've learned from some of our guests. And feel free to shout them out in the comments down below. I know for sure they would be very, very interested in that insight. Okay, so what's next for Game Changers? What are the plans going forward? Well, since you asked, I will tell you. So, collaborations is the first thing on my list. This year, I want to collaborate with fellow game changers. Right? I'm a game changer myself, and I want to collaborate with people just like me. One of my biggest goals is to connect amazing people and amazing products. Now, you've probably heard about Kids Help Creative before. You've also probably seen the episode with Crystal Cook, Ogis. I have to remember that Ogis. I always forget that Ogis. If you haven't, go check it out, and you will understand why I think that Kids Help Creative is one of the most interesting businesses out there, in that it's a printing house that encourages people, well, children in particular, to live healthy lifestyles. I believe that the children are the future. I'm not quoting Whitney Houston here, but I truly believe that the children are the future, and children's health is important, right? And in order for us to build a wealthy society, we must build a healthy society. So I'm looking to connect with Kids Health Creative on a larger scale. I want Game Changers to be the hub for Kids Health Creative in St. Lucia, right? So I'll be willing to distribute the books from Game Changers as the hub to bookstores or to people who want to use them for their children. So big things coming if kids have creative. Look out for that. I also want to build merch sales. Now, as you could see, I'm heavy in the merch space, the merchandise space for Game Changers, and it really helps offset a couple of things. Yes, it provides me with income, it provides Game Changers with income, but it also offsets, the cost for equipment, which can be expensive. Now, if you want to continue content and better content, it will cost more money, right? So merch sales help offset these costs, and it helps improve the quality of the content, right? We have a few popular designs. You see, I have the classic Game Changers tee. They come in different sizes, different colors. They have is black, blue, red, whatever you want. We should probably have it, right? So they have the classic Game Changers tee. Also have the Change the Game t-shirts. That's another very popular one. A lot of people say that they really like the design of the controller, right? So Change the Game is another popular one. And also Like a King is probably the third most popular design out there, right? Like a King. And you see each of these products must connect with Game Changers, because it's Game Changers, so everything has gamification, I could say, in it. So Game Changers, our classic T has obviously the Game Changers logo with the dice. Dice is part of games. Also you see the controller for the Change the Game, and some people don't recognize it, but you see the chess piece for the Like a King hoodie, right? So all of them have a gaming element to it, to match align with our brand, right? So get yourself a Game Changers item, get yourself some Game Changers merch. It really helps the podcast because it provides income, which allows me to expand and do even better things. And I know you guys would love to wear. I mean, these things look really, really good, right? That's something that you'd probably pick up on a shelf if you just see it. So, kill two birds with one stone. Wear something amazing, as well as support the channel, support the podcast, right? All right. So, my last big thing that I want to do coming up this year is to host a live event. A live event. Now, I've been looking or meaning to host an event for a while now, right? Most of my episodes are recorded and then edited and then posted. But I think that a live event helps expand the reach, and I think it's a different type of content, it's a different type of feel. When you see something live, or when you're having an event that is actually live, a physical event, it's still different from something that's recorded or something that you look at after the actual fact, right? So I'm looking to do a live event. I cannot tell you where we will be having the event yet because I haven't settled the date, but the discussions are already there. Look out for a Game Changers live event coming to you very, very soon. Finally, I want to expand my team, right? I know I said the last one was the final one, but I actually have one more. I'm looking to expand my reach by building a team. Most of what you see for Game Changers, I have done it, right? So the design of everything that you see on the channel, the design of most of the merch. I mean, some of the merch I got some help, but most of the designs were mine. So I do editing, I do recording, I do writing scripts, I do asking questions, I find guests, I do most of this work by myself. But I know that's not sustainable. Anybody who knows anything about business knows that you must get somebody to help in order to sustain it for a long period of time. And I want to sustain Game Changers for a long period of time. I want Game Changers to be a household name very, very soon. It's becoming that way, but I need help. So I like to build a team. I want people who have seen my content and have a similar vision, who want to help professionals become the best version of themselves. So if you're one of these people and you have skills that you think can help us and can align with the vision, feel free to reach out. Shoot me a WhatsApp text, reach out on Instagram, reach out on any of our pages. Feel free to reach out and let's have a conversation. I look forward to hearing from you because we want to get even bigger. Right? This has been our celebration episode. I hope that you guys have really seen how far the journey has gone and how much we've improved and how much we look to improve even further. Thank you guys so much for being a part of such an amazing experience. And I look forward to having even more amazing experiences with you. Thank you for all you've done and all you're going to do in the future. And as always, stay hungry.